Let me tell you about this young lady, Miss Kazween Marker, and she's going to teach on the power of influence. Power of influence. Let me tell you about this lady. She migrated to Australia in 2001. She's an entrepreneur who has multiple businesses. Matter of fact, one of her businesses, she manages over 240 properties with a staff of 2. She's hiring another person. Pizza place she's selling. She's also been in ACN 4.5 years. She's an awesome mom to 2 beautiful, awesome children. She became a regional director in the last year. I just want to thank her for who she is. And also this young lady, she's always on her calls on Saturdays leadership. And she's sometimes tunes in with our happy hour, and Sunday she's with us with the Kings. And I just want to thank Miss Kazween Marker for doing an outstanding job, for being a great lady that you're going to find out more about. She will become one of the regional vice presidents very shortly. And I'm just ecstatic when I meet her because she's a powerhouse and she's one to be reckoned with. Without further ado, Miss Kazween Marker, good morning.
Morning. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Good evening to you guys there. Good morning to everyone else around the world. Super excited to be here. Mr. Thomas, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. I don't know what you were looking at last weekend it was, and you said, Miss Mark, it looks like you have something to say. How about you talk to us next weekend? And it was just a spur of the moment thing. So thank you so much. And I'd like to, as you said, acknowledge my mom's in India. It's 6:30 in the morning there, and she's joined in as well. So you've got the 2 markup powerhouses. She's a coach herself and a force to reckon with. So you can imagine 2 powerhouses under one roof. My dad had a tough time to deal with. So let's get this started. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I didn't put it lightly in my message to you, sir, that I became regional director thanks to you. And that's why this topic is so important to me now, is the power of influence and the people you associate with. Of course, the team and everyone works together, and we, bring it all together, and we put in our hard yards and we do all of that. But also it's the people you work with and people you associate with and the influences and what you feed yourself. So, and then as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I said so many times to you, so it's not only one looking at one direction. The guidance you give us, the things you feed us with, and that we eat through here, through our ears, is so powerful. And we can really, those are transferable skills you can take anywhere you go with you, as long as you put it to practice. So it's so important to use that. So thank you so much. It's helped my traditional businesses. It's helped me in ACN. Jerstine Saher, that you were trying to say her name, was on the call as well. She's part of my team. She jumps on, but she hears enough from me. And she's like, I can't take any more on. You is enough, So, but they jump in from time and time. So thank you so much. It's been really an amazing journey, and listening to you helped me take those last few steps that I needed to cross the line to become a regional director. So this is my topic today, and I really appreciate the platform with really a humble heart. So let's take this away. I've got copious notes myself, so hope you've got a paper and pen handy, because I love to share stuff that I've learned in my journey. Of course, Mr. Thomas, you've always had them. Yes, thank you, Miss Belinda. Yes, all of you. Sensational, of course. Let's get this started. We never understand the power of influence and how important it can be. Generally, before we realize what it's done to us, it's too late. We go back and go, how the hell did I get here? You need to really look back. And sometimes you say, look back to see how far you've come. True. But on the same time, please always keep a check on which direction you're traveling. Because if you then look back, it's going to be too late to then check it. So make sure you have a check post ever so often to see the direction you're going. The biggest one is peer pressure. One of the most powerful ones, but yet so subtle. Peer pressure works so magically under the skin, and it's too late before you even realize of what it's done to you, right? Who are you around? What are the friends you're talking to, people you're dealing with? What do they read? What do they eat? Where do they spend most of their time? If people are going more to a ball game, to a concert, most likely that you'll be probably at the ball game with them. right? If they're reading comics or sci-fi or something different, most likely you'd be doing that. Don't you agree? It's like you're gonna go with the bunch, you're gonna go with the flow because you don't want to be left out. And sometimes it's not, most times rather, it's not intentional. It's very subtle and it's too late before we realize it, right? So look around you and see and make sure you're looking at them, because 5 to 10 years down the line, it'll be probably too late to think and then restart. So it's very important to see around us. 3 very important questions that I got when I learned this topic is, who am I around? So your first question you need to ask is always, who am I around, right? That's a very important question to ask. Who are you associated with, right? Is the circle good? It could be positive or negative. If it's positive, good. Make sure it serves you as well. So make sure you're checking what's around you, yeah? The second most important question is, what is it doing to me? What is it doing to me? And me being you, you being I, we're talking to ourselves here. What is it doing to me? What have they got me listening to? What have they got me reading, right? What have they got me talking about? What are they influencing me? What am I saying? How have they got me feeling? So important to understand every emotion and every aspect of something that this is touching. This is really good to understand, and who is influencing you could be positive or negative. Like I said, positive, fantastic. If it's serving you, keep doing more of it. If not, tweak it, change it, reflect on it, yeah? And the third and more final question is that okay? Yeah, maybe the collective influence is good. That's okay, that's fine. But if not, let's check on it. Let's reflect on where it's taking us. Take an objective look of what it's doing to you, right? And the suggestion is, ever so often, everything is worth a second look. Everything is worth a second look. So please look at it, see where it's taking you, right? Both positive and negative. It's important to see that, right? So what is working around us? Everything matters. Everything matters. So stop and look. How many times have we said the way you do one thing is the way you do everything? So everything does matter. Have a look at it. Some things matters more than others, but ignorance is not bliss. Finding out and paying attention is very important, especially reflecting on oneself. And you really want to know what you are becoming. Is it feeding your strengths or weaknesses? Where does it lie? What is making you do? What is your influencer? What is it allowing you to do? There was a story I heard. It's a little bird sitting and crying. And this owl said, "Oh, little bird, why are you crying?" And it's got its wings over on his face, covering your face. And when the owl said, "Why are you crying, little bird?" And he opens it and you can see his eye gouged out. He said, "Oh, the big bird gouged your eye. I understand why you're crying." And the little bird said, "I'm not crying because he gouged my eye. I'm crying because he let it. I let it. I let him do it." So don't let others influence you and let them hurt you and cry. So take a check. It's not what happens to you, is if you're letting it happen to you, is what you need to do and be careful of. So don't let those influences hurt you. This is a time to look, because you can't blame anyone else. It's you who needs to take the rain check. Even when Mr. Nelson asked yesterday, what was the hardest thing in the business? So many people said mindset, I, myself, it's us. We need to take a check on ourselves. And, we don't show the business to enough people. We don't take the steps. Mr. Thomas has been giving us so many ideas. We still need to go and do the legwork. It is us and us alone who needs to take those steps. So it's important that we talk to ourselves and ask that question, right? Now, the big question here is, are you going in the direction you so wish to become? Are you becoming the person you want to associate with? Are you attracting those people? Are you walking in that direction? In this, there is few things that will really help you understand this better, which really made me understand. And we've heard in so many of our trainings over time is, get rid of them, change your circles. Sometimes the question is how? It's hard to walk away from things. We feel very disconnected. And believe me, I've made some really difficult decisions myself, right? And I'm not saying it with a light heart. Some things don't get taken lightly. But here are the 3 things I could put in different categories that is helping me in the days now and in my current life. And I'm so glad that I was introduced by my old self to myself that I've become today. And I'm really looking forward to my new self I'm going to meet in the years ahead. So, am I walking in the direction I'm going into? I'm so happy that the old Kaz introduced me to the now Kaz, and the now Kaz is going to introduce to the new Kaz that's still yet to come. But who am I wanting to become is very important. I being you being I, is to reflect and see if you're happy with where you are and where you're headed to, right? The first thing that I looked in this first point is disassociation. Apply this question. After you apply the 3 questions I mentioned, who am I around? What are they doing to me? And is that okay? Come to a serious conclusion that the relationships you have are the ones you want to keep. Not doing anything lightly, it's not easy, but you might just have to step back and disassociate. Let certain relationships go. If they don't serve you, let it go. And it could well and truly be a loved one, right? Those steps are hard to do, but sometimes we need to take them because it doesn't serve us, right? Even when you're doing first aid, and we've got some medical people here. What do we do in first aid? You look after yourself first, make sure the surrounding is safe for you to then step into the fire, the ring of fire, and help someone else. But you need to do the self-check, the safety check for yourself first, right? So be sure that you're looking after numero uno, which is yourself. Yeah. Ms. Perla, did I say that right? Numero uno? You smiled, so I must have said that right. Okay. All right. I'm getting influenced by my American and the Mexican and all my colleagues from there. Yeah. All right. All right. So remember that you need to look at that, right? It could be because this decision could change the quality of your life, right? The second one you ask here and you work on is limited association, right? Limited association. What does that mean? Casual friends, casual time, right? Major tasks, major time. Don't give minor tasks major time, right? Don't give casual friends major time, right? Don't spend 3 hours on a sports game and only 30 minutes for spirituality. It's called out of balance. It's called out of balance. You can't be on a seesaw. It's always up and down. Like, somebody's got to be out of balance, right? How often do you see yourself really balancing act? We try and do that on a seesaw when we used to put our feet up in the park and see if we can balance. It's a juggling act. Someone's going to weigh up more than the other and go, hey, you're a bit heavier than me, mate. Hey, right? You've got to play the balancing act with your life. And why I use that is just have fun while you do it. Don't make it so hard. The best person who has fun on this call, he's the king of kings on Kings of everything, is Mr. L. Thomas. He loves a good hearty laugh. He shows you how to have fun, but use those limited associations to see where you're spending those times. Sophisticated and smart people do a health check. They weigh up their options before they spend their money, right? So be careful of how you do it. Okay, so make sure you know where you're spending your time and keep it in balance. Major time with major things, casual friends, casual times. Give it the good insight you really need to have, right? And see what your major influences are. Looking at my copious notes here, right? I've covered that all. So make sure where you're balancing and keeping your things so you do limited time. So it's important to do those checks, listen to where you're going, and select those days. Don't spend days on days on days over things. How many times have we said we have to learn sorting, even in our business? Don't try and spend time pleading. If they don't understand, sort and move on, right? We did a call yesterday with our co-founders. That was one of the biggest things said. We have to learn the art of sorting. What did Mr. Nelson say? The hardest thing in the business is we just don't show it to enough people. We show it to 5 people and want to spend so much time trying to convince them to keep doing the business. So we need to keep moving on. And so this is how I'm relating all the information we learn and trying to translate that into our ACN language to see how we can help our business, whether it's ACN or whatever you might do in your life with any clients. Yeah. Just saying, it's your life. You need to make the choice. You need to make those decisions every day for yourself. So have a good look at the priorities you've set yourself and spend your time wisely. If you make $100 and you're putting 20 aside and shopping $80, then that's out of balance, right? If you hang around with friends who go and spend every penny they make, chances are likely that you would be doing that as well. So, don't spend your time with me. I go shopping, all right? Just kidding. But yeah, so we love it. But keep that little money for the things you love as well. You've got to do what you love, but see how you're spending it. Again, keep it in balance. Look at how it is now, reflect on it, fix it, work on those limited associations and tackle the disassociations you need to deal with. They won't be easy, but see what's working with you, judge it for yourself and do a health check. Third one, which I am in now, which we are all in some portions of our life, if we can only do it more, is expanded associations. Now expand those associations. It's not what you know, it's who you know, who you will connect it, the circle you work around with. The conversations the SVPs and the COCs will have in their meeting is very different to a meeting they will have with an ETL and RD. Don't you agree? The board of directors of a company meet and have a different conversation. The world leaders have a different conversation, and the local parliament will be a different conversation. I mean, who do you associate yourself with? Where do you see your circle of influence? And get the right people around you. People of substance, people of culture, people of understanding on philosophy, discipline, accomplishment, and character. That's the kind of people, the right people you want to have around you that bring that balance. People who challenge you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. You can pat yourself on the back, but find another room. Don't be the smartest one in the room, right? Find it, because that's going to expand. That's going to expand you, your opportunities, your thought process, what you feed yourself, right? Evaluate your current circumstances and find and look around and plot a scheme if you have to, but get around the right people, right? If there is someone who is a SVP or someone really good, someone you look up to, doesn't have to be only ACN, someone you really look up to, someone you see as an accomplished person, somebody who's achieved things, spend time to go out with them. If that means you pick up the tab for their lunch, so be it. Normally people say, hey, he's a rich guy, why should I pick up his tab? Let him pay for his own bill. Don't. But the 2-hour conversation you might have with that person while you're having that lunch or the meal or a coffee, let him order what he wants. He might give you some breakthroughs in your life that will completely change your life for you. It will be a world of a difference. 2 years ago, less than 2 years ago, I had a privilege of visiting US with the ACN team, and we had some time. I wish I'd known all of you then and would have loved to meet you all in person. We'll do it soon again, but had the chance to spend some time with Mr. Nelson one-on-one and Mr. SVP Brian Sachs as well. Brian Sachs, we went to his house in Calabasas. OMG, the neighbors were, the creme de la creme in society that you know of. And it was an awesome, but the conversation was different, mind-blowing. The words was like gospel. You wanted to catch every bit of it. You wanted to have a big fishing net and catch every bit they said, right? The feeling, the emotion, the sense, the vibrations in the room are different. So if you can find a person who can expand your association with and grow, be there. Be there. But very importantly, you've got to attract the people as well, right? If you want people to associate with you, you need to attract them to you as well. You need to present. Again, I'll say it, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. How you show up even to these calls. Are you lazing and relaxed on a couch and slouched? or are you up on a table at a desk ready to take action? Makes a big difference. If you're on a recliner with your feet up, your subconscious mind is in the relaxed mode. You know, if you've heard the video from, I always mix up on them, Steve Harvey. He said, the thousands of, workers in your brain will go, hang on, we're on a couch. It's easy, lay back time, chill boys, and they all chill up. But then you're suddenly listening to a call, you're trying to get motivated, you're going to get pushed up and all that, but you're saying, hang on, stop. She's now not lazing, she's in action mode. You're confusing your mind, right? You're confusing your subconscious. You're confusing yourself. And that's when you finish the call and say, right, finish, recline it down, get off. Oh, that was long. And go, what was I supposed to do? Let me now grab a coffee and go, pom, 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 pom. The energy is finished. Yalla, khalas. The energy is gone, right? But if you're sitting up, my mom's on the call, I won't lie. If you're sitting up with the shoulders back, ready to take action, then you're going to do it no matter what. When you get off the chair, you go, right, what was I meant to do? And you put things in action. You don't look for that cup of tea. So it's very important that to attract the right people, to expand your circle, make sure you're attractive yourself. Okay, that's fair to say. Yeah, you want to look good, you want to look apart and be there ready for the show, right? Successful people, don't make their plans or don't take advice from non-successful people, right? So if you're making your success plan, please ask a successful person, right? If you're making a wealth plan, ask a person who's got wealth, who's created wealth, right? And not people with modest incomes can also have a wealth plan. Don't wait to become wealthy to have a wealth plan. You need to work smart. How many times have we said work smart, right? You want to have a health plan, go to a person who's healthy, is doing it right, is taking action, not somebody who don't look that healthy to you, right? So smart people, be smart and don't make you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan and better it. You've got to go from A to B. If you've got a plan now, if it's really serving you, keep doing it. If it's not and you desire something different, then start tweaking that plan now, but you'll only be able to open your horizon and think of things you've never thought of when you meet the right people. That will be in your expanded association circle, right? And this is called association on purpose. You are working towards a purpose. You're working towards a goal. Getting around the right people is expanding your circle of influence and asking those right questions. Where do you go for your intellectual feast? You ask someone for the favorite restaurant, they know where they're going. But who's their favorite person they're listening to, reading or following? They don't have one, right? So if you can feed your mind smartly as well and have a favorite place you go to, what is your reading, right? So people you associate with, your conversations will change, right? What are they listening to? What are they talking to? What is their views on politics? What is their views on things? It will change your thought process. It will shift our smaller mindset to a more, a wealthier mindset, a bigger horizon, a bigger pool of things. Churchill's gone, but he's left books. Aristotle's gone, we've still got his ideas. That's our legacy. When you say legacy, sometimes people just think, money, wealth, but it's not. There's so much more to it. Like really, there's so much more to it. But where are you feeding it from? Where is it taking you? Who is in your circle of influence? What are you reading? Don't always have to read a book, yeah? You can listen to audios. There's so much available, right? I don't know. I've not walked into a library for ages to look for a book. We buy them online and get our own copies now. So really, what's in your library? What's in there? Borrow it. If you still borrow things these days, beg, borrow, steal, and make it happen for yourself. So it's important to take a health check on all these things. It influences our behavior, right? And behavior is mostly influenced by ideas. Ideas are mostly influenced by education. Education is mostly influenced by the people who you associate with. So don't get around people who make life easy for you. Get around the crowd who asks the right questions to you, right? who have an outlook on, have their ideas, their philosophy, their business, their lifestyle. Okay, go where the demand is high. The expectations to grow is high. The spotlight is on growth, right? The spotlight is to produce. I'm part of a networking group called BNI. BNI is all around the world. We are also in a networking business. We are in a people-related business. Yeah, right? But who do you surround yourself with? I love our calls because the option is always to grow. The spotlight is on growth. The spotlight is on the next step forward, right? That's where you want to be. Something that challenges you. If it's too easy, and like I said, if you're the smartest person in the room, say tada, bye-bye, make limited associations and walk away. Because you did learn from there. Everyone comes into, some people, like we said, and we've heard on Mr. Nelson's thing, things happen sometimes for a season. Some people come in your life for a season. Some people come in your life for a reason, right? And the pain in your life is just for a season. It's going to be gone. I loved it when he said that to me. I had Mr. Nelson, I asked him a question in this group last week, and he said, Kaz, I'll talk to you offline. And we did. He did keep his word, and he did speak to me offline, and it was amazing. And he said, Kaz, this is a season. Is the flowers blooming outside? It's going to be spring soon. Yep. Seasons are changing. Well, this will pass too. Someone came into your life to teach you something, and it's for a reason. And their season, even though maybe my married life was only for a season of 17, 18, 19, 20 years, the seasons passed, right? Something new is meant to be on your horizon. You've got to grow and go else. Setting goals. Check and measure your progress. So important to have a measurable progress. Yes, with someone who is there to measure it with you. And do a check, because we are bloody easy on ourselves. We are very easy on ourselves because we have excuses. We believe our own excuses. That's why the excuses is only serving the person who makes them, right? The excuses only serve the person who makes them. We are very easy on ourselves. So if you want someone to, check and measure it with purpose, have a mentor who's going to check on you. Set your goals. Now, I've set goals, believe me, it's in an arm's reach here. I've broken them down in business, finance, and I've put them there. But when I heard this, when I was with people with expanded association, my list suddenly became longer. So here are some things they said, do you have on your list? Is that all you've got? I said, yeah. So let's add some few things on your list if you don't have one. Let's see if we can bring something. Do you have a health goal? Do you have an investment goal? Do you have a travel goal? Do you have a family goal? Goals for gifts and sharing. I didn't have that. Like when you say make a budget, you're going to gift, even for gifts for Christmas. Do you have a plan for it? Do you have goals of what you want to give, right? Who would you like to meet? Who would you like to become? What skills would you like to develop, right? Would you like to write a book, become an author? Would you like to be a person of influence and culture? How about education goals for your kids, right? Would you like to live debt-free, right? All these things. What music would you like to own a music library? I like music, but I never thought I wanted to own a music library. But just what people think of and what's possible to do. You want to travel the world. Do you want to go to New York? I said, yeah, I've been there. He said, well, find another place you haven't been to, right? My next goal would love to travel back to US and meet you all in person. Write it down. If you haven't gone out of the US boundaries and you want to travel and you want to go to Europe and travel the world, so be it. We know the Japanese family now so much, we might want to travel to Japan and meet them there, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to learn languages? What do you have on your list? With an expanded mind and the right questions, there is so much more we haven't thought of. And I've, I think, said this before, and it's something that I would never forget and go with me. Is my dad told me many, many moons ago. He said, because I was the I know, Miss I know girl. And he said, Kaz, there are some things in life that you know. Done, put that aside, no problem. There are some things in life you know that you don't know. Agree? I said, yeah. That's fine. That's cool. He said, what about stuff that you don't even know that you don't know? There is so much there that we sometimes listen to and go, wow, I've never heard of that. Well, there's so many things you don't even know that you don't know. So the expanded associations really help you to take those things on. It expanded my goal list, my want-to-do list. Just put more things and it's not going to fit in a page anymore. I'll probably need an A3 size and put it out there, you know, or write 5 pages of it. Expand it. Where do you want to give? I mean, a goal of gifting and you know, things. I never thought of that. Oh, it's Christmas. Let's start packing gifts. You know, you want to put some thought in it. You might want to buy something, you know, more precious for someone. It's up to you where you see it. So choose the people around you, choose what you do, because 5 to 10 years from now, you want to realize that you're in the spot where you wanted to go, not where your influence wanted to take you, where your circle of influence wanted to take you or where you wanted to go. So make sure you choose your circle of influence accordingly, right? I'll give you a little tip to help you put this in action, because we want to take action and make sure we can use this, right? Choose 2 or 3 people you greatly respect and have great respect for, think you've done really good things, you're happy with, you're happy for them to lead you, they're successful people. Get them to answer those questions for you on a list, right? Successful people have an outlook from, you know, a different variety of outlooks and different variety of experiences. They will tell you, you know, what is right on the list, the major questions, and see what their answers are, right? You would get different outlooks. With the right association, keep growing your knowledge, accomplishments, you know, and you will see how it changes the value and the way you look at things, right? With the right education, with the right questions, the right support, it's going to bring a whole new meaning on your thought process on where you take things, right? So that's what I wanted to really share, is to look at your disassociations you need to work on. Limited associations, spend casual time with casual friends, major time on major tasks you need to work on. Create a balance. And then expand your association. It's called association with purpose. Find a purpose, find a reason. Now, how do we attract those people? Like I said, you know, become the person, right? Skillful language, positive attitude, well-read, well-disciplined person of culture and intelligence, right? This will uniquely reward you on where you want to go. This will uniquely reward you. Our mentors have said this many a times. It'll uniquely reward you on levels you have not imagined. We don't think big. We don't think, what's the word? You know, abundance. You know, abundance. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. We know we don't do it. We still got, because the minute we shut the call, we go to right. What's for lunch? What's for dinner? What do I have to do? And we get lost. We don't keep the focus. So don't today, if I can say today, don't shut the call. I don't know the times in every place in the world, but if you don't have a pressing thing you need to run to, take the time to look back at everything we've talked about today and everything our calls have taught us through the weeks and the weeks and the weeks ahead or earlier that we've heard. Put them, you know, in perspective to where you want to go. Do a little health check on what you're heading to. Are you becoming the person you'd be attracted to? Look at yourself in the mirror. Do you see something? Are you the person you want to so hang around with? Or, you know, it's not, because that's where it starts, from you, right? The power of influence, the circle of association, put that to better use. Hope I've served you well. Become the person you want to attract around you. God bless you all. Thank you so much. This has really helped me. And I thought I can share with you what's helping me today and to where I'm headed. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Once again, the call's yours.